Good morning. Toss on the brightest thing you have and come on in. It is
we have
Thursday, May the 23rd. Maybe put some sunglasses on too. Here's what we're working on this morning. Maple Leaf Foods is closing its 100-year-old poultry processing plant in Brantford. We'll check in with Simone Gavros.
Hamilton Public Health says families should expect vaccine enforcement in schools starting this fall.
And Apple Music reveals its top 10 albums of all time on the 100 best list.
Okay, this is a day when we should have called each other. What are you wearing? Because we're both a little bright.
Wow. Well, added, Emily's got something bright on too. She's not wearing black today, which is a shocker. So, wow, serious. Hey, it's spring, baby.
Yes.
Is it ever? Wow, look at you two. That looks great. And, you know, the colors are going to go with the sunshine today.
Good.
Yeah. Goodness. Yeah. Huh, what a week we've had.
Yeah, really. And the heat and humidity pretty much gone. I don't know whether you got any showers or thunderstorms last
overnight,
night.
Yes.
Overnight,
Did you?
Yes.
Yep. A lot of rain overnight.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, some areas got it, some areas not so much. But the official at the airport, they said it was light rain that we had last night around 1 o'clock, but flashes of thunder and lightning throughout the overnight hours, and that's all part and parcel of the change of air mass, and you're going to feel it for today. And the high pressure ridge that we're going to enjoy, really, is going to bring us the sunshine. And the sun is already up here this morning. Our temperature right now has fallen to 13 degrees, so a lot more comfortable. And today we're going to climb to 26, humidex about 27. So still really a lovely day, and tomorrow as well. We'll talk about it coming up. Looking at traffic this morning, 403 and Waterdown Road. We start with our exclusive camera usually, and that's the way it looks, and that's pretty good right now. To our MTO traffic cameras. We'll start with the Red Hill Creek camera. It won't be long before the lanes heading away from us get really jammed, but it's still moving quite nicely. Now, top of the Burlington Skyway Bridge looks good. Let's hope it continues that way as opposed to the huge collision we had on the Skyway yesterday afternoon. That really snarled things up. And let's look at the QEW around third line. It's busy, but it's moving nicely. And look at that sun. All right, we'll look at weather and traffic in a few minutes coming up. Right now, the news.
All right, thanks, Brian. Up first, let's head to Brantford because Maple Leaf Foods says it's closing its aging poultry plant there and consolidating production into its existing network early next year. Simone Gavros joins us live in front of the Brantford location with more on this situation. Good morning, Simone.
Hi, good morning, Tim. Well, the company made the announcement yesterday about the plant closing, saying that the 100-year-old facility here would need significant ongoing investments to continue operations, and that played into the decision to close the plant here in Brantford. Now, the president and CEO of Maple Leaf Foods made the press release yesterday saying that this was a decision that the company took very seriously. It'll be done in a phased manner to maintain business continuity and meet customer demand. The company said it's consolidating production and using more modern facilities in their network as a way to be more efficient and cut down on waste. And when it comes to modern facilities, Maple Leaf Foods opened one of the largest poultry plants in London back in 2022 that employs more than 1,000 people. The company says they will work with the 156 Brantford employees affected by the closure to, quote, provide support and assistance through this transition. Now, this morning, I've reached out to Maple Leaf Foods as well as the union that represents the employees here and the mayor of Brantford for more details and reaction on this closure that we heard about yesterday. But for now, I'll send things back over to you, Annette.
Thanks very much. Well, Hamilton police have released videos of shootings in the city during a marked rise in gunfire. So many shootings, in fact, they're making their shooting response team permanent after a year-long pilot. There have been 22 confirmed shootings in Hamilton since the start of the year. This map shows 20 of them. It's the highest amount year-to-date since 2019. One video shows children walking home from school near Sherman Avenue near Barton Street last Monday. And then, just a few moments later, a shooting took place. Another video released from May 10th shows a green dot appearing on a building's front entrance on Congress Court near the Red Hill Valley Parkway, followed by multiple shots.
Oftentimes we see that the people involved are in fact involved in some type of subculture within the city, and they're fearful of even speaking to us because they too could become arrested for whatever the case may be. There are steps that we can take here at the police service to help protect people and to help shelter them and make them feel safe.
The Hamilton Police Shooting Response Team has carried out 62 investigations so far, leading to the arrest of 27 people.
A woman's been arrested after a deadly hit and run in Niagara region last month. The 53-year-old man found dead on April the 8th in Sodom Road near Weaver Road in Chippewa. 2 days later, Niagara police seized an SUV believed to have hit him. 49-year-old Tanya Krajnik Malis has been charged with failing to stop at the scene of a crash.
Family of a former Flamborough teacher killed in a hit-and-run driver by a hit-and-run driver more than 2 years ago is still looking for answers. It will be 3 years in September that Wayne Miller was killed. He was retired from teaching at Flamborough Centre Elementary and was walking on the shoulder of Centre Road near Joe Sam's Leisure Park around 6 o'clock on September 17th, 2021. Miller's brother Jim believes someone out there knows more and is asking them to come forward. Despite a $20,000 reward put up by one of his former students, the case is cold.
Last I heard from the police would have been just over last spring, and they told me that the investigation was complete. They have a little bit of evidence that they didn't want to talk about, and they were finished, but they said the case is open and will always be open.
And the reward is still available. If you have any information about what happened, you're asked to call police. An 8-vehicle pileup on the Burlington Skyway last night put a major damper on travel around the region. OPP say 3 of the 8 vehicles caught fire, and for a while, all of the Toronto-bound lanes were closed. They were back up and running this morning. Police say there were no major injuries and it's too soon for any information about charges. Hamilton's paramedic service says they responded and transported 1 person to a trauma center and 2 people to hospital, but said that all were for minor injuries. Well, get ready for a big bounce in Dundas. A giant inflatable park is going to be set up in the Haynes Corn Maze in Dundas in July. This is part of a traveling tour for the play structures in Canada and the U.S. The park will include a huge inflatable obstacle course and space for 400 people. That's how big this thing is. It's going to be set up for July 5th to the 7th.
Looks like an awful time. I'm kidding.
Yeah,
I'm kidding.
it looks awesome.
I have a few little individuals in my household that might
I'm interested in it.
Enjoy that. No big kids allowed.
Yeah, there are.
Oh, are there?
Yes. Yeah,
really?
You can buy tickets for adults.
Keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on Forge FC if we get into a busy night in the sports world. And with Forge FC, they've been nothing short of amazing since their debut 6 years ago, and it continued last night in Montreal.
Forge of Hamilton have finally got the better of CF Montreal.
After 4 tries, the Hammers were finally able to take down CF Montreal in Montreal in the second leg of the Canadian Championships, winning 2-1 and 3-2 on aggregate to advance into the semifinals of the Canadian Championships. Goals by Daniel Para and Sebastian Breza in the first half led Forge to victory, and third time a CPL side has knocked off an MLS team. First time it's happened to Montreal. Forge now waits to see who they'll face in the semifinals, with the draw taking place on Wednesday.
Bichette sends one to deep center. Gone!
After getting shut out by the worst team in baseball Tuesday, the Blue Jays used their biggest inning of the season, topped with that Bo Bichette home run to lead the charge against the White Sox. And look what's back. The home run jacket has appeared once again after going MIA for the past year and a bit. Jays would score 7 runs in the second en route to the 9-2 drubbing of the White Sox in their first series win in over a month. That jacket will be sticking around now, I bet, as the Jays head to Detroit, starting a 4-game series tonight.
It is skated up and into the zone by Verhaeghe. Shesterkin played it to the wall, but to Verhaeghe, and it's tipped in by the Rangers' Lafreniere.
Yeah, Waterdown's Carter Verhaeghe had some help scoring his 7th of the playoffs, and it bounced in off the Rangers' Alexis Lafreniere, which made it 2-0 for the visiting Panthers at the world's most famous arena, the Garden in New York. And Florida would cruise to a 3-0 win over New York to kick off the East Final. Game 2 tomorrow. Game 1 of the West Final tonight in Dallas with Edmonton visiting.
Over his last 2 ball games from 3. Doncic with a 3. Sticks it. Uh-oh. Wow.
Yeah, Luka Doncic showed why he was a member of the 2024 All-NBA team in Game 1 of the Western Conference Final in Minnesota. The Dallas point guard scored 15 of his 33 points in the fourth quarter. Mavs would hold on for the 108-105 win over the Timberwolves, who were in the West Final for the first time in 20 years. Kyrie Irving chipped in with 30 as Dallas is cruising after ousting Shea and his OKC Thunder. And despite Hamilton's Shea Gilgeous-Alexander wanting to be in the West Final, he did get some good news last night as he too has made it into the All-NBA team for the 2nd year in a row. SGA finished 2nd in MVP voting to Nikola Jokic, who was also one of the top 5 players in the league. He and SGA were the only unanimous selections. Giannis Antetokounmpo and Jason Tatum were the final 2 added. Shea's focus now turns to leading Canada into the Olympics at the Paris Games this summer. And a huge day for women's sports in the area as the WNBA will officially announce later this morning Toronto will be joining the league in 2026. They put out this short little video. No CN Tower in there, interesting enough, onto their socials last night. It's expected minority owner of MLSE, Larry Tannenbaum, will officially be announced the owner of the team. So they will play over the Coca-Cola Coliseum down at the X, the 14th franchise in the WNBA, first outside of the States.
Here we go, 20 minutes, well, 12 minutes now after 6 o'clock as we get into this 23rd morning of May. What a beautiful start to the day. I mean, we had that full moon throughout the overnight and the sky cleared beautifully. We had it this morning, at least we did driving in, but the sun is up now. Looking at traffic, first of all, 403 and Waterdown Road. Again, nothing to see right there. Still pretty light volume. We'll start with our MTO traffic cameras. Once again in St. Catharines, where the construction continues on the ramp from the QEW Fort Erie bound to the 405. You can see the left lane is blocked through there, but no volume whatsoever. Red Hill Creek camera still moving nicely, so nothing there. Ooh, it really slows down here very early. And I think one of the reasons is because you go further along, you make that turn to the east to go to Brant Street, and all of a sudden, bang, the sun is in your eyes. East of Royal Windsor, nothing to see right there. 427 Gardner, QEW combination, no problems. Remember, slow down, not just slow down, but pull back a little bit, leaves a gap in between the person ahead of you, and hopefully the person behind you will as well. So tailgating is a big problem. Let's get to our temperature that we have right now. Temperature has fallen to a comfortable 13 degrees to start the morning. Yesterday we were 19 degrees, so the cooler air is really flooded in. Lovely sunshine, light winds. The humidity is right up there at 100%. So today we're going to climb to 26 degrees with a humidex, well, about 27. But a lovely sunny day, bit of a southwesterly breeze for the day and a very high UV index. Here's a look at the showers and thunderstorms that rumbled throughout the overnight hours. Some areas got them, some areas kind of missed them. So it was depending on where you are, but we had them go through overnight with the cold front that went through. And now that ridge of high pressure is going to establish and stick around for a couple of days and give us some beautiful May days here in the sunshine. So today, temperatures, well, a little bit cooler for Niagara Falls today, 22, but 26 degrees, 23 Cayuga, Simcoe. Humidex, as I said, about 27 degrees, so still a pretty comfortable day. Tonight, very nice, 14, 16 Niagara, 12, 13, even 11 degrees for Brantford. Skies stay clear, and that's single digits, Guelph and Kitchener. And then tomorrow, pretty much the same thing, 25 and 21 for Niagara, 24, 5, and 6 around the rest of the horseshoe, and again, about 27 degrees when you factor in the humidex. So very nice days. Looking at mostly sunny skies, light winds, and we're 13 out the door right now. Long range coming up, and at 10.
All right, there you go.
Whoa.
Huh?
So much color.
You're right. All of my black is at the dry cleaners. I have no black to wear today, so.
Well, listen, I can't wait till we all sit on our red couch for our chit chat. That is
If you're
doing
at
something.
home, get your sunglasses.
Yeah, I was just about to say the same thing. Well, coming up from the couch, J-Lo has coined herself Action Mom because of her new movie, Atlas. We have an update on the Graceland estate that we were talking about yesterday, and Apple has revealed its top 100 albums of all time.
Always an interesting debate, which
Agreed.
we will have
Yes.
over the couch, on that red couch. Okay, we'll see you in a bit. Coming up after the break, it's been a warm May, and Labour advocates are calling on the Ontario government to protect workers from the heat. That and other business news in 2. 6:17, here's some numbers for you. Canadian dollar up 11 basis points this morning, sitting at 73.13 cents US. Gold, down big time. 28 basis points, 23.64.20. Crude oil up 33 cents, 77.90 a barrel. All right, Europe, let's try and do better there. Midday trading up across the board in London, Frankfurt, and Paris. Annette, please take over for me.
Okay. In Asia, markets are up after another big swing in Tokyo, while Hong Kong and Shanghai were both down. Checking North American markets, the TSX lost triple digits. So did the Dow Jones. The Nasdaq was down by 31 points.
Okay, so glad you're here. Well, I guess we'll see. Let's try this reading thing. So it's been pretty warm this week, and those humidity is back, and it's having the Ontario Federation of Labour and the NDP talking yesterday at Queen Park, calling on the Ontario government to protect workers from heat stress. So the OFL is launching a campaign to combat climate-driven heat stress and stroke in workplaces. So they say summers in Ontario are getting hotter, and the risks to both inside and outside workers, those are increasing. The president of OFL, Laura Walton, says we need meaningful legislation to keep workers safe.
We have to look at it from very many things, and I want to make sure that we recognize that, yes, this is happening in schools, but it's also happening in our long-term care homes. It's happening on our shop floors. Air conditioning is just one of the elements that needs to be considered. We can't air condition a shop floor or a bakery in the way that we would need to. So then we have to look at things like staffing, access to cooling rooms that you heard about that are happening in Hamilton. Do we have access to cool water? You'd be amazed at how many times I've heard from schools that not only is it swelteringly hot, but the water fountains are also turned off.
NDP say they will introduce a motion next week aimed at amending health and safety legislation to better protect workers from extreme heat.
Some enoki mushrooms are being recalled because they could be contaminated with listeria. The recall affects Meta brand mushrooms in 200-gram packages sold in Ontario. The Canadian Food Inspection Agency says the recall was triggered by its testing, and it's also conducting a food safety investigation, which may lead to other products being recalled. Anyone who has these types of mushrooms should throw them out or return them to where you got them.
So in an attempt to protect a dwindling species, Canada and the U.S. are suspending all fishing for Yukon River Chinook salmon for 7 years. Fisheries and Oceans Canada says that since the 1980s, the Chinook population from the Canadian side of the watershed has declined to less than 10% of its historical average. So Fisheries and Oceans Canada says that a certain number of the fish needed to make it back to their Canadian spawning grounds to sustain the species, and only about a third of that number is now making the journey. This new agreement will stop all commercial, recreation, and domestic fishing through 2030. That's the timeline for about one life of a fish, that is. The government have also agreed to work on habitat and stock restoration.
Tech company NVIDIA really overshot Wall Street estimates as its profits skyrocketed. That is thanks in large part to its chip-making dominance, which has made the company an icon of the artificial intelligence boom. NVIDIA carved out an early lead in hardware and software needed to tailor its technology to AI applications. The company has for many years made chips for video gaming and for vehicles, but its founder and CEO nudged the company into AI applications more than a decade ago. NVIDIA has now the third highest market value on Wall Street, behind only Microsoft and Apple.
You said chips.
And Apple.
You know why I'm just in my mind?
It's chip day.
It is chip day.
It's chip
Not those kind of chips, the really tasty kind. All right. That and other things. You could be eating your chips outside. We're going to be outside in a little bit because we got a nice day in our hands. I'll let Brian tell you all about it after this.
Good morning, 624 on the 23rd morning of May, and what a start to the day. Look at traffic, first of all. Let's go to the QEW and 406 St. Catharines. Very light volume through there. Getting busier, top of the Burlington Skyway Bridge. Toronto bound, obviously away from us here. Toronto bound towards us on this camera at third line. Not a lot there. Same with Lorne Park. We'll dip into the, oh, look at that sunshine. 403 and 407 split going through Mississauga. Bright sunshine, no problems, no collisions, not a lot of volume just as yet. We'll keep you posted on that, though. Let's check our temperature that we have at the moment. Oh, so much more comfortable. As I said, yesterday we were 19 at this time. 13 for Hamilton, 14 Grimsby, Mississauga, 15 into Toronto. We'll talk seasonals. Seasonal overnight low around 9, so we're still on the mild side above seasonal. 20 for the daytime high. We got to 27 yesterday. Humidex at 33, so it was another sticky one. Those are our sun times for the day, records for the day, and look at that sunshine we're anticipating for today. Sun at 19 for the first bell this morning, and then we should climb to 26. Humidex about 27 after school. Still lovely sunshine throughout the day. So that's the way it shapes up today. 26 feeling like 27 in the sun. 12 overnight tonight, so quite a nice, comfortable night. Skies will stay clear. The full moon now, what we had last night will start to wane a little bit, but 25 tomorrow, feeling like 27. Chance of a shower on Saturday, otherwise some sun. Look at the temperatures come down. Comfortable, sunny day on Sunday, and then cooler as we get into some showers into Monday. That's your forecast. Annette, Tim.
Okay, well, a city in California has a new way to fight flooding. Goats.
They come out and eat the grass along this culvert to make sure that we don't have any blockages when the rains fall.
Great idea.
Yeah, when strong storms hit, Sacramento becomes one of the most flood-prone regions in the U.S. So the city is going to use a herd of goats to clear out creeks and streams to keep the water moving. About 300 of the animals are being shuffled around Sacramento with a team of goat herders nearby to make sure they don't wander out of bounds. Head into the city.
And the garbage.
Yeah, totally. People in the area say it's a strange sight to see, but they appreciate the environmentally friendly solution. They also say, whatever floats your goat.
Oh, I like that. I like that. You're just kidding.
Kidding.
Yeah. Thank you, Brian.
No, you got to be goat to be kidding me. Okay, let's wrap it up. Come on, any more?
Nope.
Brian?
No, you got it.
Okay, that's it.
We'll work on more.
Comedy Hour will continue after this.